You're in the rant wormhole where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. Today's rant is for SpugPow, who said to rant about this essay and then linked an essay about meditations on Moloch, which is, I guess, an analysis of an Allen Ginsberg poem. I'm a level with you. I didn't read it. I read a little bit, and it seemed really boring. First of all, let me tell you, I don't care about poetry. I generally am not that into it. Not a medium that I have much interest in. I once referred to myself as kind of a millennial Allen Ginsberg in one of my videos on a list of other names that I was comparing myself to as a joke, because people have compared me to him, and he was part of a movement in the mid 1900s of I think the Beat Poets, what they're called. He's kind of a devil man. That's the impression I get from reading his Wikipedia article, which is why I mentioned him. But I've tried to read some of his stuff. I've seen Howl at the Barnes and Noble, and I read a little bit of it, and I went, this is just like a lot of pretty words to say that the world's fucked. You read like a sentence of it, and then you read the next sentence, and every sentence it feels like he's just saying everything's fucked. And I'm like, I know. I don't see any reason to say that in more esoteric phrasing than simply everybody knows shit fuck, or this world is full of fuck, as I said in one of my songs. So this Moloch poem, going by what little I read of this essay, is about just society being shitty, and the guy analyzing it is basically breaking down the ways in which the real world is just like the poem, dog, which I mean is the point, I think. But he breaks down all these different systems that are comparable to the system that is being described in the poem. There's from what I glanced over, it seemed like there was a bit of a political slant to this guy's interpretation of those systems. Some of the things he was saying were like, he was like, God, I can't even remember what it fucking was, but like, there was parts where he was like, oh, this thing that I don't know why this exists, which is like, a political statement to say that thing didn't exist, and then it's like, well, obviously there must be a reason. So how about instead of just saying like, I don't understand why this exists, we explain, like, there's obviously a reason it exists, whether you think it's right or wrong for it to exist. So I would prefer if you explained why it existed and then explained why it's wrong, or why the thought process behind it is incorrect, as opposed to just being like, oh, this system's really dumb, and, but it's one more example of how society is fucked up. I don't know. Again, I basically skimmed this thing, because it's quite long, and, I haven't read the original poem, and I'm not interested in it from what I skimmed of it from the article. And the article itself, it seemed non-interesting to me. So, the writing style didn't grab me. I will read random articles sometimes, random analysis posts that maybe, my friends share on Facebook or something, and if the writing style catches my attention, I might read a whole analysis about basketball that I've never watched and know nothing about, but just because I like the writing style. But this was, I don't know, it just felt like I was reading a blog. So, yeah, and I mean, granted, I'll address the fact that maybe it was just above my level. Maybe it was above my mental pay grade, because there were a lot of big words, and jumping right into concepts that I don't necessarily know shit about. So, maybe I'm too fucking dumb to read poetry and poetry analysis. But whatever the case may be, I was totally uninterested in this essay. But if you yourself are a fan of Allen Ginsberg or the poem Moloch, and you want to read Meditations on Moloch, you can probably Google that and get this, or go to my Patreon and go to the Rant Topics page that's only accessible if you are on that tier, and click the link there. That's your rant.